Class 10. Subject Science Biology. Chapter 5. Life Process. Topic to be learned in this video is respiration. Respiration. The food material taken in during the process of nutrition is used in cells to provide energy for various life processes. It is the oxidation of the food material in cells to release energy for various life processes. Some organisms use oxygen to break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water. Some do not use oxygen. In all cases, the first step is the breakdown of glucose, a 6-carbon molecule, into a 3-carbon molecule called pyruvate. This process takes place in the cytoplasm. There are two types of respiration: anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. When respiration process occurs in absence of air like oxygen, it is called anaerobic respiration. Example, in yeast, the pyruvate is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. It occurs during fermentation. Figure given shows breakdown of glucose by various pathways. Aerobic respiration. It is the respiration in presence of air, oxygen. Here, pyruvate breaks down using oxygen in the mitochondria, giving 3 carbon dioxide molecules and water. The release of energy in this aerobic process is a lot greater than in the anaerobic process. Sometimes, when there is a lack of oxygen in our muscle cells, another pathway for the breakdown of pyruvate is taken. Here the pyruvate is converted into lactic acid, which is also 3-carbon molecule. This buildup of lactic acid in our muscles during sudden activity causes cramps. The energy released during cellular respiration is immediately used to synthesize a molecule called ATP, which is used to fuel all other activities in the cell. In these processes, ATP is broken down, giving rise to a fixed amount of energy which can drive the endothermic reactions taking place in the cell. ATP, adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the energy currency for most cellular processes. The energy released during the process of respiration is used to make an ATP molecule from ADP and inorganic phosphate. Endothermic processes in the cell then use this ATP to drive the reactions. When the terminal phosphate linkage in ATP is broken using water, the energy equivalent to 30.5 kJ per mole is released. Think of how a battery can provide energy for many different kinds of uses. It can be used to obtain mechanical energy, light energy, electrical energy, and so on. Similarly, ATP can be used in the cells for the contraction of muscles, protein synthesis, conduction of nervous impulses, and many other activities. Gas exchange in plants. Plants exchange gases through stomata. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are exchanged by diffusion here. The large intercellular spaces in leaves help the cells in contact with air. During day, carbon dioxide formed by respiration is used for photosynthesis. So, carbon dioxide is not released but oxygen is released. At night, photosynthesis does not occur. So, carbon dioxide is released out but oxygen is not released. Gas exchange in animals. Aquatic animals breathe dissolved oxygen in water. In fishes, respiratory organ is gills with gill slits behind their eyes. They may be covered by operculum. During breathing, fishes open and close mouth and gill slits or operculum in a coordinated manner and timing. They take in water through mouth and pumps over the gills. From the gills, dissolved oxygen is taken up by blood. The amount of dissolved oxygen is lower than that in the air. So, the rate of breathing in aquatic organisms is faster than that in terrestrial organisms. In terrestrial animals, there are different types of organs to breathe atmospheric oxygen. They increase surface area which is in contact with the atmosphere. Surface of respiratory organs is very fine and delicate for easy gas exchange. To protect this surface, it is placed within the body. So, some passages are necessary to carry air in and out of respiratory organ. Human respiratory system. In human beings, air is taken into the body through the nostrils. The air passing through the nostrils is filtered by fine hairs and mucus. Conduction of air through the passage is as follows. Nostrils, nasal passage, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs. Rings of cartilage in the throat and trachea prevent collapsing of air passage. Within the lungs, the passage divides into smaller tubes bronchi and bronchioles. Bronchioles terminate in balloon-like structures called alveoli, singular, alveolus. Gas exchange occurs in the surface alveoli. Alveolar walls contain a network of blood vessels. When we breathe in, ribs are lifted and diaphragm gets flattened. As a result, the chest cavity becomes larger and air enters the lung alveoli. The blood brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body to release into the alveoli. Oxygen in the alveoli is taken up by blood in the alveolar blood vessels and is transported to all body parts. During the breathing cycle, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air so that there is sufficient time to absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide. In large-sized animals, diffusion pressure is not sufficient to deliver oxygen to all body parts. So, respiratory pigments take up oxygen from the lungs and carry it to tissues. In human, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin on red blood corpuscles, RBC. It has high affinity for oxygen. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen and hence is mostly transported in the dissolved form in our blood. Fact to know. If the alveolar surface were spread out, it would cover about 80 meters square. Surface area of human body is about 1.9 meters square. If diffusion were to move oxygen in our body, it would take 3 years for an oxygen molecule to get to toes from our lungs. Hemoglobin helps in faster gas transport. Facts to know. Tobacco or tobacco products affects tongue, lungs, heart and liver. Smokeless tobacco also causes heart attacks, strokes, pulmonary diseases and cancers. Oral cancer is highly reported in India due to tobacco chewing in the form of gutkha. Smoking is injurious to health. Smoking destroys cilia on the upper respiratory tract. As a result, germs, dust, smoke etc. enter lungs and cause infection, cough and lung cancer, common cause of death. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel.